Hello and welcome to the GDM Garage. In this episode we will have a complete 700 horsepower engine bay. Welcome back to the third episode in this 700 horsepower Supra build series. And today we are going to continue to build on this JDM MK4 Supra. And now, when the exhaust side is all done, we're going to focus on the pressure side from the turbo through the intercooler to the intake. And this car already had a front-mounted intercooler kit installed, so we don't need to build a whole new intercooler system, we just need to modify it a little. And these aluminium pipes were on the car with the intercooler kit, and basically they were from the twin turbos to the intercooler, and you could see me removing them in the first episode. And luckily I can reuse these pipes for this setup, and the only modification that needed to be done was to cut the pipes a little bit over here on this pipe and on this and on this pipe, so I got the right length and angle, and then made this bolt on it so the silicone hose won't slip off. Then I had to complete these pipes with this 45 angle pipe, so I got the right length from the turbo to the intercooler. Then after the intercooler there was this U-pipe, which I also can reuse, and the only modification that needed to be done was to weld this flange on for the dome, which a buddy of mine who's a great welder helped me with, and he also welded everything you saw in the previous video. And this dump is an HKS1, which was also previously on the car. It sat right on top of the twin turbos, so I'm reusing it as well, but just at another location on the system now. And then last we have the air filter or intake or whatever you want to call it, and this is the HKS1 that was on the car previously, but I'm not going to use this now. It's quite rough and even damaged as well, so I'm replacing it with this big cone filter instead, that definitely should be able to do the job. But anyway, let's install all of this. Now, when we have all of the intercooler piping done, we're going to focus on the fuel system. And we need to upgrade the injectors, do a bypass for the fuel damper, and upgrade the fuel pump. And these are the injectors that we are going to use. And these are 1000 cc injectors. So theoretically they should be good for nearly 1000 horsepower on a 2JZ. So well and behind what's needed for this project, so they should work just fine. And since we are using the stock fuel rail, we need side-fed injectors, which these are. So you can see here on the side, that's where the fuel comes in. And for the fuel damper bypass, I'm going to use this line, and this line actually is a leftover from a previous Supra project, so it's a direct bolt on. But basically it's just an AN6 line with an 90-degree and on the other end a 45-degree fitting on. So it's not that hard to make if you need to make one yourself. And then at last we have the fuel pump. And for this application you could either use 2 fuel pumps or one larger fuel pump. I'm going to use this Walbro GSS 342 and the pump that's in the tank. And you could just buy one extra pump and use the stock pump that's in the tank if you like. But if the pump that's in the tank is stock pump that came with the car originally from factory, it could be a little bit risky since you don't know, the pump is quite old and it could give up soon, and well, that would cause you a lot of problems. So then it would be safer just to buy 2 new pumps to be on the safe side. But the fuel pump that's in this car has been replaced recently. So that is why I'm only installing this extra pump. But enough explaining, let's get to work. And the first thing we need to do is to remove everything that's in the way for getting to the injectors, which are down here. So removing all of these vacuum hoses, the map sensor, this bracket for the throttle wire, and well, so on. You get the idea. There, all done. So now we have the intercooler piping all done, from the turbo to the intercooler and then to the intake manifold. And the air filter is on with this 4-inch pipe. We have installed the 1000cc injectors and then, well, put everything of this back together. The fuel damper is bypassed and we have a new fuel pump in the fuel tank. So, well, really starting to look like a 700 horsepower engine by now. So what we have left to do now is the electronics, well, basically the ECU, the computer for the car, and then some vacuum hose lining to do to the ECU, to the dump, from the turbo to the wastegate, and so on. But basically this is all for this episode. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned.